Hi everybody, this is Darryl Stewart at Ready to Shine Now. The purpose of this EFT video is to clear this perfectionism that a lot of us have, this need to be perfect, that pressure that many of us have had in our personal and professional lives, including myself. And this video is going to create some positive space for you to move successfully into your dreams, toward your dreams, your desires, and your passions that doesn't involve any feeling stressed out all the time, feeling unsafe to make mistakes, and worrying if somebody is going to judge you or criticize you at some level or layer of your development. So this perfectionism and this I need to be perfect pattern and belief system shows up a lot around the following areas of what will people think of me? I don't deserve this. I'm wrong. It's not safe to make mistakes. And there's this idea in the background about achieve, 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 that voice that we hear in the background from someone in our past. Sometimes we grow up with a high level of expectations from the people around us that we're close to, like our parents, our grandparents, teachers, coaches, friends, and sometimes these unrealistic goals for us as children that turn us into these people that are paralyzed about moving forward and about making mistakes and being imperfect, because there was so much pressure for us to be perfect when we were growing up. So what happens is that this is directly linked to many of us being able to perform in a relaxed, less stressed way in our personal and professional lives on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. And a lot of perfectionists have this element of social anxiety that comes up because they're worried about being judged, criticized with people around them. So what I've done is I've put together this tapping video for you perfectionists out there, just like me, who have struggled with relaxing and allowing and being comfortable with being imperfect in our lives because of all of that stress and that heaviness and that pressure that we've had in our past, and it showed up most likely in your childhood like mine. So let's get started with an EFT, set up phrases and words to loosen the control of this I need to be perfect, this belief system that has over your life. Please have some water, pen and paper for this exercise, for this process, so that you can write down any ahas, any insights, any connections that are going to come up around us really tuning into why you are a perfectionist and why this is overwhelming and paralyzing you from moving forward in your life and allowing yourself some space to grow. So let's start tapping on the karate chop right here, left or right, doesn't really matter, and repeat this statement in your head, 0 to 100% true, just for this moment. I need to be perfect, 0 to 100% true. I need to be perfect, 0 to 100% true. And I need to be perfect, 0 to 100% true. So write down the number that comes up in your head, the first number that comes up in your head around I need to be perfect, and write that down so that we can come back to it later and just check in to see if this percentage has gone down for you. Because what happens is when we start to really look at why you're like this, the percentage will go down and down and down, because we're actually pulling up these thoughts and ideas up to the surface and we're releasing them. We're pulling them up and releasing them. What I'd like you to do is to repeat everything that I'm saying so that we can release this perfectionism, this fear of being not being perfect. Top of the head, all of these self-doubts. Eyebrow, this fear of making mistakes, holding me back. This fear of failing. Fear of getting judged again. I was told I was making mistakes. Someone was yelling at me. What will they think of me? What will people think? This straitjacket I have on of what people will think. What will he think? What is she going to think? All of this holding me back. I'm really feeling vulnerable right now. All of this shame that I'm not perfect. That I want to minimize that. All of that shame. I don't want to be hurt again. I need to be perfect. All of this pressure on my shoulders. I need to be perfect. I need to be perfect in one else's eyes. All this pressure. I don't want to be yelled at again. So I just wanted to take a deep breath, exhale it. Just take another deep breath and exhale it. Take a sip of water if you need it. And I want you to write down any ahas, any connections, any insights around just this piece of the tapping round. And look at, where does this I need to be perfect belief system come from? Who is it attached to in your past? When did this start in your life? And any emotions and feelings that are coming up around that. Maybe it's a fear, maybe it's an anxiety. Write all of that down, because we can look at that later. And I'll give you a chance to do that. Just put me on pause, and we'll do another tapping round after this. Go to the top of your head. Oh, I need to be perfect. Live perfect. Be perfect. So I can avoid criticism. So I can avoid blame. All those reprimands. From them, it made me really feel really bad. Ashamed sometimes. Really embarrassed. I can't be perfect. It's not natural to not make mistakes. They think that I shouldn't make mistakes. I need to be perfect. All this embarrassment because I can't. All these doubts showing up in my life, in my business, because I can't be perfect. I need to be careful. I don't want to be reprimanded again. I don't want to be judged again. Or criticized again. All of that embarrassment. All that shame. I don't want to make mistakes. Look what happened that time. I got reprimanded. Part of me feels like it's not safe to try. I need to stay in the safe zone. I was taught that mistakes weren't okay. All of this old shame. I can't make mistakes in my life. In my business, in my relationships, even with my kids. It's just not okay for me to make mistakes. All of this intense pressure in my body, in my nervous system. Nobody can be perfect. This belief system is holding me back. I feel like I ruin everything if I make a mistake. It's not okay to make a mistake. I was taught that I need to be perfect. That's crazy. All that pressure on me. No wonder I'm not taking action. I'm a perfectionist because I wasn't allowed to be imperfect. I'm fearful of making mistakes because of that person. No wonder I feel like I'm being judged. I'm walking on eggshells. I just can't be myself. So I just want you to take a deep breath, exhale it, take another deep breath, exhale it, take a sip of water if you need it. Just check in, tune in to see what's going on around any new connections, new insights, any ahas about where this perfectionism comes from and needing to be perfect, and who's involved in this. If there's more than one person, write them down. Write down any feelings about this, any belief systems that are coming up, so that we can look at those later. And just take a moment, put me on pause so that you can take a few notes on this. Take a deep breath, exhale it. I didn't experience an unconditional love when I was growing up. Nope, no way. I needed to perform. Seems icky and gross to me. There wasn't conditional love. Yeah, this yucky feeling inside of me. So much pressure for me to perform. There was no room for me in this. There was no room for me to make mistakes. Do things right the first time. This pressure to achieve. I cannot take any chances. Someone's going to laugh at me. All this embarrassment. It's really not safe to make mistakes. I'm feeling all this shame. All this pressure to be perfect. What will people think? What will he think? What will she think? It's not okay to take risks. This feels like a prison to me. This prison of being perfect all the time. No wonder I'm not achieving my results that I want. This is like a paralyzing fear of being imperfect. I wasn't allowed to. All of this analysis paralysis I go through. I'm really scared to fail. I wasn't given a place to fail, to be imperfect, to make mistakes. All of this stress that's showing up in my body. I get love if I'm perfect. I get a certain amount of love if I don't make mistakes. That's a lot of pressure. so much tension and pressure on me. It's really paralyzing. I honor that I went through this. There was so much pressure and so much tension to go through. No one's able to perform at that level. It's better to avoid it than get in trouble. No wonder I procrastinate. No wonder I don't want to do things. All of these paralyzing expectations. They're paralyzing me. All these expectations on my shoulders. There's never been room for me. All of these emotions. This idea that I need to be perfect all the time. That's crazy. And I can't make mistakes. So I just want you to take a deep breath, exhale it, take another deep breath, and exhale it. Again, take your piece of paper out, pen, take a sip of water if you want. Write down any notes, any insights, connections about where this has come from, any particular events that have come up, who's involved, and it's generally somebody that's in our past. It could be a mom or dad, a grandparent, grandparents, teachers, coaches, friends. Just take a moment to write those notes down and put me on pause to do that. Let's check in quickly for the percentages about this perfectionism. I need to be perfect. So just take a deep breath, exhale it, go to your karate chop and start tapping. I need to be perfect, 0 to 100% true. I need to be perfect, 0 to 100% true. I need to be perfect, 0 to 100% true. So I just want you to write that number down and see if it's gone down. And if it's gone down below 20%, that's really amazing, and it shows that we've actually done a lot of great work. If it's still above 20%, what I'd like you to do is to go through this whole tapping video so that you can get it back underneath 20% and redo this before we go on to the next piece of this tapping routine. Tap with me. All of these doubts, all these self-doubts. This fear of making mistakes, it's been really holding me back. Fear of failing. Fear of getting judged again. I was told I was making mistakes. Somebody yell at me. What will they think of me if I make mistakes? This straitjacket that has been in my life, holding me back. I need to be perfect. I wonder if it's possible, though, space to grow, to make imperfect actions so I can move forward. That's how the rest of the population works. No one's perfect. We're all trying our best. I'm trying my best. And because I'm giving myself space to grow, then that's where the real creativity comes in. I give myself permission to grow. I give myself permission to have a safe space to grow. I need a safe space to grow. Because this fear of making mistakes is really not helping me. And I give myself permission to have safe spaces to make more imperfect actions. So I can grow. And I can start changing my life. I give myself permission to release this fear, this need to be perfect. I'm choosing to change this. I'm empowering myself to take imperfect action today, right now, to the best of my ability. So I want you to take a deep breath, exhale it, take another deep breath, exhale it, take a sip of water. Again, write down some more insights and connections that are coming up, any events that have come up from this, and put me on pause again to write those notes down. So what I'd like you to do is go to CryoChop just to check in and see where the percentages are, because it's really important to be specific and just so that you can have some more space to grow and be imperfect and make mistakes and start to align with your higher purpose and where you're going. So go to the CryoChop and repeat after me. I need to be perfect. 0 to 100% true. I need to be perfect. 0 to 100% true. I need to be perfect. 0 to 100% true. So I just want you to write that percentage down. Hopefully it's under 20%. If it's not, then what you can do is go back over through this video and get it down. If there's particular events that you know that you need to address and look at because of what this is connected to, because how I see this is that this belief system, I need to be perfect, is a tabletop. So a tabletop belief system means that there's specific events that have happened in your past that need to be addressed and be released so that this need to be perfect releases and leaves your life forever, so that you can have more space to grow in your business and your personal life, so that you don't feel stressed and tense all the time. So if you have additional comments and questions for me, please click on the link so that you can talk to me about any further questions around being a perfectionist and having this need to be perfect. So this is Darryl Stewart at readytoshinenow.com.